All right, guys, we're going to talk about point of view, how stories are written, right? So sometimes a story is written with a narrator that is in the story. The narrator is a character in the story, right? And the author does this so that you can have more of a connection to the characters in the story, right? So the person telling the story is actually in the story. And they say things like we, us, me, my. They're in the story. That would be first person narrative, right? The character that you're reading about that's telling the story is in the story, right? Then you have an unnamed character, right? So you have the narrator as a character, that's first person, and you have an unnamed character, right? That story is written like this. I have to get up on my chair. So I'm up on my chair, right? So you got to imagine that the story is being written as an eye in the sky. That eyeball in the sky is looking down and reporting about everything that's happening in the story, right? And a lot of times that this would be third person, right? Third person. That eye in the sky is just seeing and reporting everything, right? And telling the story that way. And in the third person, they're going to use characters' names. They're not going to say things like I, me, my, because that narrator isn't in the story. They're not actually experiencing the events. It's an eye in the sky, and it's reporting everything that's going on in the story, right? All right? And that would be third person. And they have to know the character's thoughts. They know everything about each of the characters. That would be third person omniscient. And then sometimes, and we'll get into this later in the week, you'll have a narrator that's third person limited, and that is still third person, eye in the sky, but they can only see through one character. That eye in the sky is telling the story through one character's perspective, right? And perspective means a character's thoughts and feelings. So what do we have here? We have first person when the narrator is a character in the story. So one of the characters you're reading about, they're telling it, right? So sometimes you'll say, who's telling this story? And if you know, oh, it's Sarah, it's the one telling the story, or Josh, right? You know the character's name, and you see a lot of, hey, I need to do this, or we went to the store and then we did this. You know that's first person. When you hear I, me, my, we, us. Third person is an eye in the sky. They usually use characters' names, right? They're all knowing. They can tell you what all the characters are thinking, right? So when a speaker doesn't act or speak to the other characters, the speaker is a voice outside of the story, and he or she usually uses words like he, she, it, they. He, she, it, they, that's going to be third person, right? I, me, we, us, that's going to be first person. Let's take a look at some examples really quick. All right, so let's look at this first one. See if I can scoop my mug out of the way. There we go. It says first person narrative, right? Here's an example. So first person point of view uses I or we. We went over that. And first person is often used when someone is stating an opinion or sharing a feeling, right? Like when you wrote your opinion letters or your persuasive letters, you were writing in first person, right? So I jumped for joy when I got a new bike for my birthday, right? That's first person, right? I, who's telling the story? The person, that kid right there, the kid who got the bike, right? Now here would be third person. If you want me to convert this to third person, ready for this? Here's third person narrative. He jumped for joy when he got a new bike for his birthday. Are you seeing that? Now that's an eye in the sky. That's an eye in the sky up here looking down and observing what happened to that kid. The eye in the sky is not in the story, right? It's just reporting what happened to that kid and his bike. First person, boom, now I'm down in the story. It's me telling it. I jumped for joy when I got a new bike for my birthday. All right, let's take a look at a second person. All right, now I waited for this screen because now second person, we just wrote directions on how to put a balsa wood plane together, right? Right? Yeah. And so you were speaking directly to the person reading your directions. So here's what you did. You said, you used the word you. First, you go to the alarm clock and you shut it off. Next, you get up and brush your teeth. Then you're going to want to grab your coat, put your shoes on, and walk out the door. Next, you should say, see what I'm saying? I'm using the word you and your. Look at the example. You need to bring a notebook and a pencil to class. Second person is usually used when giving directions, right? Or anytime you are speaking directly to someone, right? So you wrote your directions and you were writing specifically to the person reading what you wrote. That's always going to be second person. The key there is when you hear you and your, and you feel like they're speaking right to me, that's written in second person, right? Now, here's he, she, or they, right? We know that. It's an eye in the sky reporting on what's happening. The narrator is not a part of the story. Here it is. Jamal sang the most beautiful song at the talent show, and he won first place. How can I convert that third person example to first person example? I bet you know. I bet you know. Here's how you do it. You ready? I sang the most beautiful song at the talent show. I won first place. Now that's first person, right? Because now I am in the story. I am a part of it. I'm telling you what happened to me. But third person, eye in the sky, observing what Jamal did. Jamal sang the most beautiful song at the talent show. He won first place. All right, so we have first person, second person, and third person, right? Here's what you're going to do. I have this Google form that you're about to do. I posted the point of view review video in here. Watch this video. Go through and you're going to try to identify whether or not it's first, second, or third person, right? Now, let's talk about, really quick, let's talk about third person omniscient or third person limited. Third person omniscient. The word omniscient means all knowing. Okay? So if it's an eye in the sky and you know, oh, this is third person, I want you to decide think to yourself, is this eye in the sky all knowing? Does the narrator know all the characters? Can the narrator tell you what each of the characters are thinking and feeling? Or is the eye in the sky only seeing through one character's eyes? Right? Is it only talking about what Jamal did, and Jamal did this, and Jamal did that, and he did this? Or is it saying Jamal is doing this, and Sarah feels like this, and James thinks that this is... Now you know that eye in the sky can see into everyone's thoughts and feelings. That's perspective. So give it your best shot. I know that you can delineate between first, second, and third person. Watch the Brain Pop video. It's very good. Maybe take some notes, and then do the Google form. And we're still learning. We're still doing it, you guys. And I miss you guys terribly, I have to tell you. It's no fun teaching in my dining room, man. It's just no fun. I bet you guys are tired of this gaudy wallpaper, man. Give me a couple of days. I'm about to paint this. I'll show you the paint color real quick. Hold on. Check it out. I think in this room, we're going to go, any of you parents that are watching this, if you think we shouldn't go this color, but this is what I'm thinking right here. Oh, that's nice. Look at right up against the trim. Right there. Now, any parents have any weigh in, you guys can weigh in too, but I think that's the color we're going to go with. All right, listen, do your best, do the work. I'm watching you. I'm the eye in the sky. Mr. T, out. Well, I always do that. I always jump the gun. I got to get that rhythm. Now I'm out. All right.